Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Somebody wrote me and they asked me why I rinse my meat off. When you sit there, and if you ever watched a butcher, it's not the cleanest place there. And if you feel the meat, like when you buy a steak and you feel it, you can feel like little particles on it. That was left over on those saws and stuff that they cut the body. They have the, I think they call blade well, they're like blades and they run the meat through it and all. It's not the cleanest area, and that's why I do it. You don't need to pick something up that you don't want. I've seen butcher places. It's not the cleanest, nor is it the healthiest place, so I try to clean it up in that aspect, if you wonder why I do it. But you can feel it, and as you rub the steaks off and you clean them off, you see how much cleaner they are, which is really nice. Now today I am going to be using my meat seasonings. I'm going to cook the stew beef with a whole grain, and I'm going to make a gravy with it. Well, I'm going to reduce it and it'll make a nice thick gravy. Then what I'm going to do is serve this, and I'm going to be serving the bulgur bread with it, where you can soak up the gravy around it, which will be real nice with vegetables, just to be different. I would have showed you the veal chops I did yesterday, but one of my sons really wanted to talk to me, and I was cooking. I said, all right. So you missed out on that. Don't worry. I'm always doing something new. As you can see, I'm a bit heavy-handed with my seasonings. I'll show you. You see how I do it? I want to make sure that they're really, really covered, and that'll give me a lot of flavor. And then I'm going to use my stocks. Stocks I have today are chicken stock with some root vegetables, I think. Well, I never remember anyway, so I'm not very good about that, remembering what I do with everything. Now we're going to put flour over this. But I have this leftover flour here, and it's got particles in it from other meats that I've cooked and stuff with seasoning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sift it. And you can see the particles in it. Maybe I should get a bigger bowl, no, plate. Knowing me. Mess. And you can see the particles. I don't know what flour I use because I use different ones all the time that I have here. But I do know I have some all-purpose in here. And see, here are the particles. And then I just throw them away. If it was summer and warmer, I would sit there and bury them out in the yard. Now, I'm not concerned about the seasonings that are in here. I'm going to be adding this meat to it. And I'm just going to flour them, and I am going to put them on a rack, which you'll see in a minute. The piece is big enough. Yeah, the pieces are big enough. Now, the reason I do this is I want them to air just a bit. Though I already patted them dry, I wanted them to air with the seasonings. You don't have to do it for a long time, but give it some time before you sit there and cook it. And a lot of you see my shorts, which is the end product, and you don't realize that I'm making videos, and I show you the end product in the shorts so you can see. And I give them the same name, so if you go to the videos, you'll be able to look it up to make it easier for you. But this way you can see the end product. Because I don't want to make it first, then if it comes out, then sit there and make it a second time. My family would have kittens about that. Mommy, you just made this, why are we having it a second time? So I do it like this. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. See, a lot of people take shortcuts in their cooking, and they leave all these steps out, and you sit and somebody said, I've seen hundreds of videos and nobody has ever rinsed their meat off. That's because they do those shorts. Somebody who really cooks knows you have to rinse the meat off because it's got particles from the butcher, and you don't want those in your food if you care about your family, so you clean it up. Now this is 2 pounds of stew beef. So you know that would be 1632 ounces. So how many grams of protein? Every 3 ounces is 25. So you can see there's a lot in it. I tell you that just to give you an idea so you can count for your family. Say, wait a minute, are they getting enough? Yeah. I'm going to be showing you how to make some breakfast quick breads the day before so you can serve them to your family for breakfast to be different. Now, we're not going to probably eat all the gravy that I'm making from this, but you know what I like to do? Make biscuits. Heat that gravy up, pour it over the biscuits, and have scrambled eggs with it. It's very nice. It's a very southern dish. Where there wasn't any waste, they didn't throw gravy out. My grandmother taught me that trick. She didn't make gravy, she just heated left up gravy that she had. And am I concerned about the chicken flavor going with the seasonings and the beef? No, not really. This one I put on the counter, and it'll be ready for next time when I need it. Now I'm going to move you over here so you can see how I do this, for those of you that want to see. I had it in the refrigerator. That's what's taking so long for it to come out. You can see it's just dripping out. Oh, God. Now today I'm going to be adding kamut, which is a traditional grain out of Egypt. I'm not going to sit there and just use one grain or this grain. They come from all over the world, so because of that you can get so many beautiful different flavors and stuff in your food. And once I get a mill, I'll be milling some of this up, which I'm really looking forward to doing as well. It's just that mills cost a lot of money, and I have to wait till I could get enough and do it. Now this is an aluminum pan, I think. I'm not even sure. All I know is it gets hot in a hurry. I'm not going to brown them a lot, but I will brown them. Let's see. No, I cannot use that. Okay. You can take this dish and not do it the way I'm doing it. You can sit there and actually serve it over rice, or you can do it with mashed potatoes if you wish. But I want to do mine different this time. I want to serve bread next to it so they can soak the gravy up with it, and I'll be cooking vegetables to go alongside this. Maybe make a salad, that would be better. Yeah, I can make a salad. I've got dressing left over. The Italian dressing I have left over. I might do that instead, make a salad with everything but the kitchen sink. That's what we call those salads, where we put everything in it, everything but the kitchen sink. And I think that would be nice. And I'm going to continue doing this, and when I am done and I go to put the rest of it together, I will be back. I had given you, I forgot to tell you this, I gave you the oil blend that I use on my face. When you put it on, you don't pat it on. You rub your hands together, get them warm with it, like this, and then you rub your face hard because it opens the pores, and then you can get it into your skin. Because I rub my face very hard after when I go to put my oils on my face, because I want to build that friction up. Because you know when you sweat, your cells open up. But because it's cold, the cells are closer together. So what you want to do is open them up so you can get that lanolin and those vitamins and minerals into your skin. So give your face a good rub with it, and you'll notice it works right into the skin. And you'll be quite content with what you see. You won't be disappointed. I forgot to tell you that when I gave you the oil blend that I used. Another thing you have to be very careful with meat when you do it like this, because you have the seasonings on and the flour. You don't want them really brown so dark because you start burning those seasonings. So I'm very careful when I do it. I do a light one. You see how I do it? I do it a light brown to make sure that I don't burn those seasonings, because then you're going to lose all the beautiful flavors you just put on them to enhance the dish that you're making. Oh, come on. Now, some people, this browning I'm doing is called searing, but I'm doing a light searing. They like to bypass this and just take stew beef, throw it in water, and boil it with vegetables. It becomes a boiled dinner. It doesn't become a stew at all. The flavors are different. When you sear it, you start bringing that flavor into it, which is really, really nice. You can actually taste the difference in somebody who just boils it and someone who sears the meat. So when they say sear, they mean that you're actually browning it. So learn that terminology and learn it well, because it is used a lot of the times. They'll say sear this or sear this. So be aware that when they say sear, that's what they're talking about. I just don't want to do mine real dark because I have all these seasonings on them. I don't want to burn my seasonings, so I'm being very careful. I know I keep on turning you off and on. You're probably saying, leave me on and leave me off. I know. You can get very frustrated with me, but I think of things, and then I realize I have to remember to tell you that I wanted to tell you this, or this other thing. Whatever goes across my mind at the time. So a lot of steps that we were taught when I was growing up are being bypassed today, and everybody's doing a shortcut. And your food is flat, and you're saying, why isn't it as good as somebody else? It's because you have shortened all these shortcuts. And when you do that, you start losing it every time. I'm sorry, I can't say it any other way. You have to go through these steps to get what you're looking for, that excellent flavor that you're always searching for. I remember when women left the kitchen a long time ago, in my lifetime. Because I grew up with every mother practically home cooking. God, we knew what everybody was having, and the dishes were fantastic. But now everything is made cheaply. You go to the restaurant, everything's already pre-made. They just add seasonings to it and say, "You did this." They're leaving out too many steps on all of this. That's why my videos are long. I talk to you about nutrition, why we do this. Things have to be done in order. Somebody said I can make a cake in 5 minutes. Okay, I'll put you in my kitchen, give you 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes from the time I clock it. There's no way it can be done. None. She just might get the butter and the sugar cream, and that's about it. And nothing else. So if my videos are long, it's because I'm talking to you about nutrition. I'm explaining how you do things. I'm showing you because I want you to learn these ways where you cook. Because we are losing how to cook. Believe it or not. Everything's instant this. Oh, just mix this, throw this together, we've got something. But those things had to be prepared before you could do that little bit. And if you don't understand it, anything happens. I mean, anything happens. You have to know how to do these things. It's not going to work any other way. Do I spend my whole time in the kitchen? No. I get up early. I get things done. I grant you, I don't have small children now, but if I did, I would be making a lot of the breakfast things beforehand. I'd make sure I have muffins, sweetbreads, and things like that going with the eggs, and then I'd just have to make the eggs and the bacon and sausage or fish or whatever we're going to serve. If we're going to have sandwiches, that's real easy for me to do in the morning. And then some days I just give them a treat, which is having something sweet in the morning. Because at least I think twice a year my mother would serve us cake or a pie or a cobbler or something. That was like an extra treat for us that we didn't get very often, but we appreciated it when we got it. Now, you're going to need 1 cup of camote. 1/3 of a cup. 1 cup. What am I talking about? 1/3 of a cup. And as you can see, this is a whole grain, which is very nice. We're going to have to rinse it, and we're going to use that in here with the gravy. So we'll make sure we get those extra vitamins and minerals and, acids and things that we need. Now, is there starch in this? Yes. So we get everything. We get the whole thing except the husk of it. That's all we get from it. So, as you can see, okay. Sorry, I'm going to get the grains in just a bit. Now, I will add salt to this after I'm done cooking this, and then I will adjust it with everything else that I have. But let me get these rinsed and I'll be right back. Now these are really going to swell up. Make sure that you don't burn them down at the bottom. You'll have to Stir it periodically. Now we're going to bring this to a boil. I do want to add some peppercorns. So when this comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down, put the lid on it, and then we'll turn it down to simmer, and we're going to let it do its number, which will be a couple of hours, maybe 3. But do check it, because when you use these whole grains, they will burn on the bottom. Because as this water reduces, the whole grain that we use, kamut, is going to swell up to almost 3 times its size. So I added a third, so there should be just about a cup of it. So when it does that and the meat is cooking, it's going to pull in all those flavors as well. So you can see how all of this is going to work together. And though I browned my meat, I was very careful. You can see the seasonings floating in here. So let me get the lid. So do bring this to a boil and then turn it down to simmer, and we'll just let it cook for hours. And when it gets down to that point, I will be back. But do remember to check it and stir it, because it will burn because of the whole grain that we just put into it. This is a side note. My girlfriend had these garnishes that people put in liquor, and she doesn't like that. She's going to have a drink, she wants it without all the sweetness to it. And they call these modern craft garnishes, and what they really are is dried fruit. And I have they're called, this one's called Bird of Paradise, which has pineapple, red dragon fruit, and strawberry in it, dehydrated. This one's called the Vow of Silence. It's got grapefruit, lemon, and kumquat in it right here. These are all dried fruits and stuff and some seasonings. All right. This one's called Indigo Sunset. Listen to this one. This one has pineapple, lemon, and green lime in it. So I guess some of you who do have some of these drinks are aware of these, but we're not. And this is called Old Fashioned Blood Orange, Bay Leaf, and Star Anise. And they say this one goes good with bourbon, whiskey, vodka, gin cocktails. Indigo Sunset pairs well with tequila, rum cocktails. And the Vow of Silence is bourbon, whiskey, and vodka cocktails. And Bird of Paradise goes well with white wine and sangria. Well, I don't drink, though I cook with liquor. I cut these open, and I make a tea out of them. Actually, I have some water on it. This is what I'm going to have this morning. Now, I'll eat the blood orange, which is actually the oranges. It's mixed with another fruit, so they're red on the inside, but they look like an orange on the outside. Now, this I'll eat because the hot water will soften it up. This I won't, but I know that's for gas. And anise gives a lovely flavor. And I'm not going to eat those either. But anyway, I just wanted you to know, she gave me these garnishes for liquor, and I'm going to drink them as teas. Because all of you that have been with me through the summer knew that I mixed a lot of these things up, and I made my own fruit drinks. And now I'm going to have some hot tea with them. So I'll see you later. Okay, the meat is very tender. I'm going to add salt now. The reason I don't add it is because it withdraws a lot out of the meat. And that's why I like to do it sort of like at the last minute. I'm just going to reduce it now. I've turned the flame up so I can reduce it. And you can see the kernels are cooked. You see? But I just want it thicker than this. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Turn the flame up and reduce it and make sure it doesn't burn. When it gets a little thicker, then it will be completely done in my book. This gravy needs a little more seasoning, so I'm going to add some more of my meat seasoning. When I make it again, I will definitely do a special video just so you can get this that I've made. The chicken flavor of the stock is a little stronger than I wish it to be, so I'm adding the seasonings so I get more of a balance between the beef and the chicken stock that I used. As you can see, you have to balance these out sometimes. I usually use vegetable, but this time I had too much chicken stock, and I had, what else did I have? I had some other stocks. I was just throwing them all together. But this one definitely had the chicken in it. That's better. It did need some more seasoning. See, now it's getting thick, and that's what I wanted to do. That's why I'm leaving the lid off as I talk with you. Won't be much more. This will be thick enough for me that I want. Now, you probably won't use all this gravy, so I strongly recommend that you put it in the refrigerator. And I'm thinking about, now just hear me out, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm thinking about tomorrow morning making beer biscuits and see how they come out. I'm going to see if I have a Guinness's because I want a stronger flavor in the biscuit. And the gravy that I have left over here, I'm going to pour over those biscuits and see how good it turns out. And don't worry, if you use liquor cooking, you cook the alcohol out, and all what you're going to have is the flavor left, so you don't have to really worry. Now I'm going to show you how tender this meat is. See that? Look. I'm barely pressing in and it's going straight in. And that's what you want, really tender meat, see? Just like that, it just goes right in. Remember, in this recipe, when you use these whole grains, they will burn like rice, so you have to be careful. Let me see. So I know we will definitely not finish this gravy, but here it is. Beef and gravy. Let me turn it down so you can see it better. And I'll bring it up to you. See? Here it is. So take care and enjoy your day. And I'm still going to work on those beer biscuits I'm thinking about doing tomorrow.